Hi everyone, this is Maite, and today I want to talk about my relationship with my body. This is probably going to be the first in a series of videos because there's quite a bit to say about it, and I've been putting off making this video or talking about this point because thinking I need to have it walked through all the way. I need to have the solution. I need to have walked it, lived it, and then I can share it. But there's so much and so many dimensions that are opening up with it, with this one point of my relationship with my body, with the pregnancy and after the pregnancy especially. That I'd rather just share where I'm at now and what I've walked so far and where I'm planning to go, and then I can give you guys updates as I go. So in my pregnancy I gained quite a bit of weight, much more than is suggested, and also much more than women usually do. Some women just do gain a lot of weight during pregnancy, and I was one of those lucky ones. Now, during my pregnancy, and I've done recordings about this while I was pregnant as well, my experience of gaining weight was very different to usually. Like before I was pregnant, if I would gain weight, it would be quite an issue, and I would make it quite an issue, and immediately want to try and lose the weight again. Whereas while I was pregnant, I had quite a strong sense that there was a purpose for this weight, and just I was also so much more in tune with my body. While pregnant, it's like you just really get infused almost like in your body, so you can really feel it, you can really enjoy it. It's a really pleasant experience. Well, that's an aspect of pregnancy that I really enjoyed, to really like be in your body and just enjoy that sensation of your own physical body. And as I was gaining weight, it wasn't like I'm getting bigger or I'm getting fatter or I'm gaining weight. There was just more of me. So there was like more of me to enjoy. It was like a physical expansion, which was very different to my normal experience of gaining weight. Now, while I was pregnant, people obviously noticed the weight gain, but everyone told me, don't worry. After your pregnancy, after the birth, and once you start breastfeeding, the weight will just drop right off. Of course, that was not my experience. So that's where really the struggle began. Well, no, not actually. The first point was after giving birth, being in the same body. Obviously, right after the birth, not much changes. The baby's out, and that weight is gone. But other than that, your body's still very much the same. And not long after after the birth of my daughter, I started already having these thoughts coming back of like, ugh, all this weight, it's just sitting there. What's it still doing here? I need to get rid of it. I don't want it anymore. It should just be going now. Like, it just didn't have a purpose anymore. And that experience of wanting to get rid of the weight came back quite quickly. So, slowly I started exercising again, looking at what I'm eating, essentially doing the things that I used to do when I would want to lose some weight, and nothing was working. Like, it's like I was doing the exercising, I was changing what I was eating, I was cutting certain things out, then I was also breastfeeding, and looking at the scale and the number on it, nothing was changing. So I was getting rather frustrated because I was expecting it to work. But what I found herein was actually causing the most conflict in me and the most reaction and judgment was comparing my body now to my memories of my body at different times in my life where I ate a certain way or exercised a certain way, and I was having these types of results. And now my body wasn't doing that, and I wasn't getting those results. So judging my body, because you should be able to do this, because you've done it before, so why aren't you doing it now? And here, immediately also, if you hear how I'm talking and how I'm voicing these thoughts that were coming up, you can hear how there was this complete separation between me and my body. Whereas in pregnancy there was that complete, well, not complete, but more of a unification happening. After I gave birth and in wanting to lose the weight, there was immediately that separation, like me against my body, and why is my body not doing that? You body, hey, you should be doing this. Why aren't you doing that? So one day I was observing Cynthia playing on her playmat, and babies developing their body, they're developing their motoric skills, the way they move, their muscles, their joints. So they're quite busy when you lay them down. And I was observing her, and I couldn't help but compare how she was in her body, like having this fresh start, and how I was constantly comparing my body to my body of the past. And she was working with her body as it was, with a fresh start, for the first time, developing, creating, and building her body. And she had no reference to the past of how to do it, because she hadn't done it before. But she was absolutely just totally fine. She was just happy, moving around, testing things out, and obviously getting results, because she was busy developing and had already over time been developing. So obviously that was working. And here I was just getting frustrated because I was doing the exact same thing I had been doing, and I was not getting the same results as back then in the past. And I was like, well, yes, but, trying to justify my experience with, but I've had this body for a long time. I'm supposed to already know what it's like. Whereas she's got a whole new body and is learning how it functions for the first time. And then I looked at this, and I looked at my body, and I'm like, well, you know what? This isn't the same body. It's just not. After pregnancy and all the changes that my body had to go through to accommodate for the pregnancy and make everything run smoothly, and after the delivery and the birth, plus I am so much older now. Well, so much older, I'm older. And even me, who's in my body and therefore has an effect on my body, I am not the same person that I was years ago. I've walked the process, which has had an effect on my body. So how can I say that this is the same body? It's not. I have a different body now. It's a new body. So what I decided in that moment was to start over, and to also start over in my relationship with my body, because I really was not enjoying seeing myself fighting with my body, especially because I've had that experience and that reference from when I was pregnant, in a way getting a glimpse into what it can be like, what my relationship with my body can be like, what my experience in my body can be like, where there was no judgment, there was no fighting, there was no frustration, there was no adversity, there was an acceptance and embracing completely. So in that moment I decided to use this opportunity, with my body being in this, in a way, very extreme kind of situation and state at the moment after my pregnancy, to use this now as an opportunity to start over and to recreate not only my body, recreating, rebuilding, again getting to know my body, but also really recreating, redefining my relationship with my body. Because one thing I was very clear on is that I did not want to continue with having that relationship of judgment and anger and frustration towards my body, because I was literally kind of like beating down on my body, not physically beating myself, but internally, like lashing out on my body. It's like, I don't want that anymore. You know, I've done that for the longest of times, and it was really time for something new. So I decided to just turn a new leaf and start being more proactive in deciding, what do I want my relationship with my body to be like? What do I want to include, and what do I not want to include this time around? And yeah, this started quite an interesting journey, and I'll talk about it more in videos to come. Thanks for watching. Bye.